Let me speak to you honestly for a moment. If money has been stressing you out, if you've been opening your phone just to see another bill, another reminder, another not enough, if you're doing everything you can and still wondering, why does it feel like I'm stuck? Then pause, because what you're hearing right now is not random. Over the past few days, something interesting has been happening. People who listened to this message didn't just feel inspired. Their situations shifted. One person reached out saying money arrived from a place they weren't even thinking about. Another told me momentum finally returned to their business after a long dry season. Someone else shared that an opportunity opened that had been delayed 4 months. Now listen carefully. The point isn't their stories. The point is timing. You didn't land here by accident. And no, that's not a cliche. There are moments in life when everything quietly rearranges itself, not loudly, not dramatically, but precisely. And this is one of those moments. Right now, there's a financial shift happening. Not out there, but around you. I know skepticism might be kicking in. You may be thinking, I've heard things like this before. Or if it were that easy, my life would already look different. That doubt doesn't disqualify you. It actually proves how much you've endured. Here's something most people never realize. Your financial struggle was never a punishment. It was never proof that you weren't capable or deserving. It was preparation. Think about it. Pressure reveals strength. Delay builds discernment. Scarcity teaches value. You've been developing muscles most people never train. While you were focused on getting through the day. While you were pushing forward even when motivation was gone. While you were helping others, despite your own challenges. Something unseen was working with precision. Opportunities were being timed. Connections were being positioned. Certain doors stayed closed on purpose, because what's coming requires a different level. This is how growth actually happens. Not all at once, but quietly, beneath the surface. Just like roots forming underground before a harvest ever appears. And here's the part I want you to really hear. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on schedule. Even now, as these words land, your relationship with money is shifting. Old patterns are loosening. Fear-based thinking is losing its grip. Money responds to alignment, not desperation. And alignment begins with awareness. This isn't about wishing. This isn't about pretending everything is fine. This is about recognizing that you are entering a new phase. One where effort finally meets flow. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to chase what's meant for you. What's required now is openness. So take a breath. Let go of the story that says it's always going to be hard. Release the belief that struggle is permanent. Because the season you're stepping into doesn't look like the one you're leaving. And you'll realize soon, the moment things begin to move, that this message found you exactly when it was supposed to. Let's slow this moment down for a second. What's happening here isn't motivation. It isn't hype. And it isn't imagination. It's recognition. There are systems within you that were never meant to be learned, only remembered. Long before your first experience with money. Before bills, before pressure, before disappointment. Your consciousness carried a natural blueprint for abundance. Not something you earned, something you arrived with. Over time, life layered noise over that blueprint. Stress, survival, conditioning. And slowly, what was automatic became quiet, not gone, just inactive. What's happening now is a re-engagement of that inner system. Think of it like a program that never stopped existing. It simply stopped running in the foreground. As your awareness shifts, it resumes operation without forces. No effort required, no struggle needed, no proof demanded. Because abundance was never activated by exhaustion. True prosperity responds to coherence. When your inner state stops contradicting what you desire, these internal patterns work subtly. They don't shout, they don't rush, they emit. And whatever matches that emission begins moving toward you naturally. That's why chasing money rarely works. Pursuit creates resistance, but alignment creates gravity. Right now, your internal field is reorganizing. And you may notice that not as thoughts, but as sensations. A release where tension used to live, a softening where pressure once sat, a quiet clarity replacing urgency. That isn't coincidence. That's recalibration. Some people experience this as a deep familiarity, like remembering something obvious that was somehow forgotten. Others feel it as a spark, subtle but unmistakable. Different sensations, same shift. Now here's something rarely explained clearly. There is one state that doesn't just allow abundance, it accelerates it. Not effort, not visualization, not repetition. It's appreciation before proof. When you express gratitude without waiting for evidence, you stop signaling lack in progress and begin signaling completion. You move out of anticipation and into embodiment. That single adjustment collapses time. You're no longer reaching toward a future version of yourself. You're standing in alignment with it. This isn't pretending. It's acknowledging movement that hasn't yet reached the surface. Like thanking the sun before it clears the horizon. Not because it might rise, but because it already is. So let your body feel that recognition now. Not word, not affirmations, sensation, relief, ease. The quiet confidence of knowing something is already underway. Feel appreciation for the solutions that are already assembling, for the people whose decisions will soon intersect with your life, for the opportunities being routed toward you through channels you haven't noticed yet. Think about this for a second. Chosen one, your financial life isn't just numbers on a screen or cash in your hand. It's a signal, a pattern, a rhythm you've been living inside of for a long time. That rhythm may have been tight, heavy, and exhausting. Every month felt like survival mode. Every decision felt pressured, not because you're incapable, but because your environment trained you into that pattern. Now here's what's changing. Right now, something subtle but powerful is happening beneath the surface. The internal setting that determines how many responds to you is being recalibrated. Not through force. Not through struggle, but through awareness. Money, like everything else, follows alignment. It doesn't judge where you've been. It doesn't argue with your past. It doesn't care what your account balance says today. It simply moves toward coherence, and your internal state is shifting from contraction into expansion. That's why things begin to feel different before they look different. Most people misunderstand how financial breakthroughs actually arrive. They imagine dramatic moments, sudden windfalls, overnight miracles, instant relief. But the universe rarely works that way. Instead, it moves quietly and intelligently. A conversation that changes everything. A decision you almost didn't make. A person who crosses your path at just the right time. A door that opens where effort alone never could. On the surface, it all looks ordinary, but underneath, it's precision. What you call coincidence is often timing finally lining up. And your timing is shifting now. Your breakthrough may not announce itself loudly. It may arrive disguised as an opportunity you almost ignore, an idea that keeps returning, a chance that feels small at first, but grows once you say yes. That's why openness matters more than control. The more you try to dictate how abundance should arrive, the more you limit the intelligence moving behind the scenes. Right now, your presence alone is broadcasting something new. People who can help you, even unknowingly, are being pulled into your orbit. Situations are adjusting, resistance is softening, not because you forced it, but because you finally stopped fighting yourself. Now let's talk about something deeper, your relationship with money itself. Everyone carries an inherited story about finances. Stories learned from parents, environments, disappointments, and survival experiences. Maybe money felt scarce, maybe it felt stressful, maybe it came with guilt, fear, or conflict. But that story was never your identity. It was conditioning. And conditioning can be rewritten. As you take this in, those old associations begin to loosen. The nervous system relaxes. The belief that it's always hard starts losing authority. You're not becoming someone new. You're remembering something old. That abundance isn't something you earn through suffering. It's something that flows naturally when you stop resisting it. You exist within an abundant universe, not a limited one. Expression, expansion, and growth are its default settings. Money is simply one of the many ways that expansion expresses itself through you. And this moment, right now, marks a turning point. Not because everything changes instantly, but because you have. And when your inner posture changes, the outer world has no option but to respond. Some will come as conversations, some as timing, some as returns you forgot were possible. Not because you forced anything, but because resistance is dissolving. Gratitude here is not a request, it's confirmation, and confirmation is powerful. Because whatever you acknowledge as present begins behaving as present. As we come to the close of this moment, check in with yourself, not your thoughts, your state. Does it feel lighter, more spacious, less urgent? That's not emotion, that's alignment. In the next few days, watch for subtle confirmations. They often arrive quietly before they arrive clearly. A shift in circumstances, an unexpected offer. Support appearing without being asked. These are not random events, they are responses. If this experience landed for you, acknowledge it. Engagement is not about algorithms, it's about signaling readiness. And remember this, your expansion is not isolated. When you move into abundance, it doesn't stop with you. It flows outward. This moment marks a return, not to hope, but to truth. You were never designed to live in constant strain. You were built to circulate value, receive support, and move with ease. And that process has already begun. Trust what shifted today. What's approaching doesn't need your fear. It responds to your openness. If something moved inside you while listening, even subtly, like this video, that action isn't just support for the channel. It's a declaration. It tells the universe, I'm open, I'm aligned, I'm ready to receive. Now subscribe to this channel. These messages aren't random, they arrive in sequence, and subscribing keeps you connected to the next transmission, to support your abundance journey. And if you know someone who's been under financial pressure, share this message with them. Abundance multiplies when it's passed forward. What you give energy to always comes back expanded. Remember, your breakthrough didn't begin someday in the future. It began the moment you listened. Stay open, stay receptive, and get ready, because what's unfolding next is bigger than you expect.